Hello, my name is Andrew and I love to make monsters. Earlier this year, my daughter requested that I make her a Poro figurine. This is a little fantasy creature from League of Legends, and I'm not overly familiar with it. I've obviously heard of it, so I looked up some good reference material, some 3D models. I'm going to use that as I sculpt this. I'm starting off with some aluminum foil, building up to about the size I want this little Poro. It's kind of a little, reminds me of like some unbaked bread. You know, you kind of have that bread shape. And I'm going to cover this with some Super Sculpey. So I'm just going to soften that up. Once I feel like it's conditioned well enough, I'm going to put a somewhat even layer all the way around my foil. With that done, I'm using a larger ball tool to make indentions for where I want the feet. Then I sculpted out kind of a pill-shaped piece of Super Sculpey, cut it in half, and those will be my front feet. I did the same thing for the back feet. Now I'm using a smaller ball tool to make little indentions for the little claws for the Poro. And I'm going to use a ball tool to make little eye sockets. I'm starting off with a smaller ball tool. I think they need to be a little bit bigger than that, so I'm going to use my bigger ball tool to round them out. And then I've got these little glass cabochons. So I'm going to put these in here as placeholders, so when it bakes, I have those already in there. And use a really small ball tool to make a nice little smile for our Poro. Now I want to have his tongue sticking out, so I want to make it a little more indented. So I did sculpt a tongue. Got that sticking out, give it a little bit of a shape, get that little crease in the center there. Not for sure what that's called, I'm sure somebody could tell me. Now I did take the tongue and set it aside. I'm going to bake that separately. I mean, it's going to be on the same pan but not attached. Now I want to do little indentions for where, so I can pop the eyes out later when it's all baked. Now to make some horns. So I'm just rolling up some foil, fold it into a triangle shape so when I roll it, it's thicker at the bottom, if that makes sense. It gives me that cone shape that I need for a horn. Except for these are way too small, so I'm going to add a lot more foil to give me those nice thick horns that the Poro has. That should be fairly sufficient. I'm going to go ahead and shape it out so it has kind of a curve. Now this one kind of curves just around, but this other one curves down and then up. And I like that flow a lot better, so that's what I'm going to go with for mine. And I'm going to cover these with some brown Cos clay. Cos clay is pretty flexible clay, so I thought there's less chance it's going to break. It's definitely more flexible than Super Sculpey, so that way if it gets bumped or anything, it's a little safer. So once I've got both the horns covered, I do like those. I want to do the indentions. So it has several little like rings around there. So I'm just going to use this needle tool and use the edge of it and go around. Does it have an edge? It's round. It's not really the edge, but it is the edge. What do you call the side of a needle tool? That's a good question. I don't have answers. Now I've got the indentions all done. I want to add like little cracks to it, like show the Poro's got some age. I don't know. I think I saw it on one of the drawings. I'm like, I think I'll add that because I like to add more detail. Then I'm going to make little claws for the toesies, and I just use some more of that brown Cos clay, use some liquid clay adhesive to stick those in there. Got all 12 done. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake what I've done so far according to package instructions. This kind of saves my progress so nothing gets messed up. While that's cooling down, I'm going to go ahead and paint the cabochons. Now these are not the ones that were in there, but these are the same size. Now I do need to trim off the horns a little bit. I want a little more of a flat surface. you'll see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to trace around, and I'm going to make a hole to sit that into, cutting the Super Sculpey. And I've tried some of these close-up camera angles because I thought that'd be more dynamic and make my videos more interesting, except for my camera doesn't know where to focus at when it's that close. Kind of goes back and forth. So hopefully this is watchable. Now I've got both those cut out, added some liquid clay adhesive. Now I'm going to add a wire to each one of the horns just to help give it a little bit more support. We'll stick that in there, and since everything is baked, I don't have to worry about distorting what I've already sculpted. Now I'm going to add some unbaked clay to fill in some of those gaps, because there's a little bit of gappage going on where I inserted the horns. Now I'm using some liquid clay adhesive to add some fur on top of the feetsies. I just do these little kind of triangular shapes, smooth it in at the back, and that way it's kind of just has this little tuft of fur sticking out. Now I'm popping both the little cabochons out with the needle tool. See that little slot there? Worked really well. It worked really well for me to get those other cabochons out, and now I have the perfect size to put these in there. And now to start adding some of the fur. And I'm just using a small ball tool to add a texture to it. I kind of do this messy carving pattern on fur and for feathers, just kind of depends on what the creature is, but I really like it because it's, I don't know, it's kind of chaotic and adds a lot of texture to it. I added the tongue, and I'm going to add some fur on top of the tongue. This is why I pre-baked the tongue, and I didn't have it in there because I knew I'd need to add the fur underneath it, and I also need to add the fur on top of it. So by pre-baking the tongue, it gives me that option where I can do that, and now I don't have to worry about distorting the tongue. I also don't have to worry about trying to sculpt underneath it. Now all that's left to do is continuing adding pieces of Super Sculpey to the sculpture and keep using my little ball tool to add all this fur texture. I do try to get the fur to go in the same direction because I think that, seems more natural. Animals don't have fur going in 20 different directions. I mean, I guess most don't. Maybe some with really messy hair do. I don't know. Can you tell I'm really not an expert on anything? But I just keep plugging away. Just keep sculpting. Never stop creating. Wait, I gotta save that to the end. All right, once I have this all sculpted, I'm going to go ahead and bake it again according to package instructions. This was with everything attached. So here he is all cooled down, or maybe it's a sheet, I don't know. And it had a lot of little crumbly clays on there, so I'm just using an unused toothbrush to brush those off. That way I don't have to worry about those coming off later when I'm painting it. And I'm going to use a base coat of gray. This is a Storm Gray by Pixis. It did take several coats of this gray to cover it, and I had to go in with a smaller brush and get all those little crevices and little hard to reach spots. Then I just cover the underside with some black paint. Now I'm just going to water down some black paint. So basically what I want to do is just get into those crevices, get it where the thicker paint couldn't reach, so around the toes and on some of the edges. While I'm continuing on with that, I want to give a special thank you to my patrons. Kirsten, Heather, Jacob, Jeff, Delaney, Brandy, and Ani. Thank you so much for supporting my art journey. It really means a lot. If you want to support me on Patreon, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. You can also support the channel by checking out a link to my spread shop. You can order t-shirts and other cool stuff, and then there's a link to that in the description box below as well. Now let's back to the commentary on this little Poro. Finishing up the paint on him. Gave a nice pink paint job to the tongue. I did a few coats on there. Then add a little bit of black wash around there to get into the crevices. Again, adding that shadow. Now for the horns, I wanted to try to get the black in their crevice, but it wasn't really working how I thought it would. I thought it would seep down in there better, so I decided, well, I'll just cover the whole thing and wipe it off. Now that did make my horns really dark, and I didn't want them quite this dark, so I used some isopropyl alcohol to try to clean that off, and it did clean it off some, but they still weren't quite where I wanted them to be. So I decided I would dry brush some of this lighter brown. It's called a Teddy Bear by Folk Art. and just basically get most of it off my brush and then dry brush it onto it. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. It gave a lot more depth to the horns and a lot of different shades of browns in there now. And so I really like how that turned out. Even went just a little bit more on like that tip of the horn. And then I did a light dry brushing over the little toesies. And now on the furs. I'm just using some Folk Art White. And I'm just dry brushing this over the entire body. Well, all the furry parts. I did do this a few coats. After I did a few coats of this, I felt like there was still too much gray showing through. So I did the same thing where I took most of the paint off my brush, but then I kind of dabbed it into those deeper spots so they had a little bit of white on there, so it wasn't so much of a contrast between the deeper parts and the surface. Now for the little toesies or the little claws, I'm using some Sculpey Satin Gloss. I wanted to give them a little bit of a shine, but not too much. I wanted the tongue to look really wet, because it's a tongue. And I thought this would be kind of a slobbery little creature, kind of like a puppy. So I thought, I'm going to use some UV resin on here, goop it on pretty thick, but I didn't want it drooling. I didn't want it like completely coming off, but enough where it looked a lot more wet than compared to the claws. So UV resin is perfect for that. Now the last thing I need to do is clean off the little eyeballs. I got some paint on there. I am using a plastic tool on here so I don't scratch them up. Once I'm finished that, we'll take a look at the finished Poro. And here is the finished Poro sculpture. For not knowing anything about this creature, or not knowing much, had a lot of fun doing it. I really like the design of it. I don't know why. I like kind of a ball-shaped creature. This isn't as ball-shaped as like a Mad Ball or a Pac-Man or Beholder, but I don't know. I kind of gravitate towards stuff like that, even though like he is very three-dimensional where he has the horns and the, tongue and the claws and stuff. I don't know. I just, it's like I want to make a Cacodemon and I want to do this, all these different ball-shaped creatures. But anyway, I'm rambling because that's what I do. I'm very happy with him. I hope my daughter loves him. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this, please give this video a like. I greatly appreciate it. If you have ideas of other monsters, especially ball-shaped ones you want to see me make, leave them in the comments down below. That would be awesome. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get back to posting new videos every week. They won't all be sculpture videos, but they'll all be art related. All right, well, thanks for watching, and remember, never stop creating. Bye.